Tonight on News Live at 6.
So there's like a lot about tonight that's like a big step up for me.
How University Union highlights students and the opportunities they create.
Plus, an annual Comic-Con comes back to campus, what it offers to students and how it helps them.
And I'll tell you why, you're going to need your umbrella, not just today, but throughout the week. News Live at 6 starts right now.
CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
University Union sang the praises of underground artists this weekend. Good evening. Welcome to News Live at 6. I'm Josh Meyers.
And I'm Peyton Spellacy. Our Maura Vaughn will tell us about the rising stars who performed at Planet Underground.
And new at 6, University Union organized a student concert on campus over the weekend as part of their spring events series. And here to recap the event is reporter Maura Vaughn. Maura?
Thanks, Josh. Over the weekend, University Union hosted the event Planet Underground for the Syracuse community, highlighting Syracuse student artists. The 6 performers displayed original songs as well as covered alongside their respective bands. I had the opportunity to attend this event and speak with 2 of the student artists.
Because every time I hit a stage and walk off of it, I walk off of it a slightly more experienced musician, you know? This is another example of getting that opportunity to have that kind of outlet, and again, it's a much more scaled up kind of version of that outlet, which is super exciting for me.
For student artists such as Sammy Kukuru, University Union's Planet Underground not only helped to push out aspiring artists' new music, but provided these artists with opportunities for new fans. On Saturday night, University Union hosted 6 of these student artists.
I am always a little bit nervous, but I'm definitely really excited, especially the more that I do it, the less nervous I get. It's also nice performing at a school event that's school sanctioned, having people be able to come for free and just experience it and get to hear me, because that's just a privilege to be able to play for people.
For many artists, this event was the largest audience they'd performed in front of. University Union has emphasized their spring event schedule to create exciting opportunities for students to share their talents, with many more events still to come. This is Maura Vaughn for CitrusTV News.
Open for the Student Association Spring 2023 election. The roles of president, vice president, comptroller, assembly candidates, and a referendum are all on the ballot. Voting will be open until Friday at midnight. Students can vote on the SA website.
And tonight at 7, a queer clothing exchange will be taking place at the Hall of Languages. Members of the LGBTQ community are invited to stop by room 500 to swap gender-affirming clothes with other members of the community.
And esports is coming to SU on April 27th. Students can attend a forum to learn about the power of storytelling in gaming. Alumnus Larry Shudeep, known in the gaming world as Major Nelson, will discuss the shift in the culture of social platforms in a gaming sense. Shudeep is the current programming director for Xbox Live. Newhouse students can register for the event through the emailed link.
And a new program is coming to Newhouse students. At 5, students attended an info session on sports media and communications in Los Angeles. The program is coming in spring 2024 and will be part of Newhouse's SULA semester. Students at SU can learn more about the many study abroad programs available by visiting suabroad.syr.edu.
Over at the Schaefer Building, students can visit the annual Geek Art Confluence. Our Citrus TV reporter Corey Maricosta stopped by to see what it's all about.
The halls of the Schaefer Art Building are typically colorful with murals, but this week comic book fans are responsible. The annual Geek Art Confluence encourages student creativity each year.
The Geek Art Confluence is a place for students to express themselves.
Vendors line the walls, offering a vast amount of memorabilia. Students have told me this has become a safe space for them. This is the 4th year of the conference, and they look forward to it each year.
When I came here, I was super embarrassed to be coming in cosplay, but when I saw like everyone else dressing up, I felt like super at home. I love nerd stuff.
Emma found plenty of that in these halls. From American comics to fantastical realms, this Comic-Con is the perfect combination of geek and art.
There's a bunch of comics being sold. There's a bunch of like cosplay happening and it's a bunch of different sort of things that I haven't had experience with all meshing together, and I think it's just really cool that everybody's having such a good time with everything here. It's really fun.
Local vendors from Central New York come to not only sell merchandise, but to also give advice at no cost.
Specifically for the art students, I think it's, the arts themselves it's a difficult field, and sometimes having to look at things in a professional lens. There's a lot of different avenues you can go down, but sometimes hearing at least one person's story can help them a little bit.
The Comic-Con offered panels for artists on cultivating their craft and highlighted the current work of students. The general sentiment from enthusiastic students is that there were no cons to this con. Cora Mayer-Costa, CitrusTV News.
Cora, that looks like a great opportunity for students to express themselves. Cora, thank you. Now, Peyton, it was an absolutely beautiful day out yesterday. I was out playing tennis for at least 3 hours. Today, not so much.
I know, the weather was looking up last week, but now I'm hearing that we're getting some rain. Here to tell us more is our weather anchor, Peter Elliott.
All right, you can stand by. Hey, Josh and Peyton out here on the CitrusTV weather deck. There are good days to be out here on the CitrusTV weather deck. And then there are days like today when the rain comes and it just does not stop. And that's been the theme today. It started raining this morning, late morning, and then it's just been nothing but precipitation from here on out. It'll continue raining even later tonight. That rain will switch over into snow at a certain point, so we could get a wintry mix of both types of precipitation. That rain precipitation should end right around 2 a.m., but for the rest of the day, we're going to be seeing light rain. That'll be the theme for Monday afternoon. We're going to get about a 1/4 inch in total of rain throughout today, and tomorrow, though, it'll be dry throughout the day. Though this rain is going to be the theme for much of this week. We're going to be seeing a lot of rain, so you're not going to be wanting to putting your umbrella away for now, or your rain jacket, certainly. I know we're seeing warmer temperatures as spring moves in, but that rain won't go away, and as we know, rain is the harbinger of spring. So we'll get some rain here throughout the tail end of March and April, but hopefully these warmer temperatures will move in. We'll get up into the 50s and 60s later on next week, and we can deal with a little rain then, but right now the temperature is down kind of in the lower 40s, and later tonight it'll get into the low 30s. So that mixed with rain, not the greatest weather forecast for today. It'll be better later on next week. I'll have more information on that coming up in my full 5-day forecast, but for now, I'll send it back to you into our dry CitrusTV studio, Josh and Peyton.
Peter, thank you. A harrowing tale out of Syracuse. A man is recovering from multiple gunshot wounds. According to police, the 37-year-old victim was shot in the chest multiple times last night. Rather than calling for help, the victim drove himself to the hospital to receive treatment. Police are still investigating the shooting.
And 2 men are in custody today for making their own guns. The Onondaga County Sheriff's Office says the men made at least 7 ghost guns in their Eastwood living complex. Officers found the guns, weapons kits, and packets of cocaine while executing a search warrant Friday. The investigation all began as a part of a reported missing trailer. Police say the 2 suspects likely began their gun-making ring by stealing construction equipment around Onondaga County. The 2 suspects are on the hook for 5 charges.
And a 4-year-old Rochester girl and her mother are home safe after falling victim to a forced abduction on Saturday. According to Rochester police, a 24-year-old man is now in custody on a slew of charges related to the abduction. Police found the suspect on Wellington Avenue after a foot chase. In North Syracuse, longest-serving active firefighter is dead at 77. 55-year fighter-fighting veteran Peter Drum suffered a heart attack at the scene of a fire back in January. Drum survived his initial surgery but returned to the hospital after complications. Over the course of his life, Drum served in the Vietnam War, worked for Verizon, and was the town's fire chief. And Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh is hoping to turn gangs, grudges, and gunfire into giving back. Mayor Walsh is asking city councilors to approve a $1 million proposal to invest in at-risk individuals in Syracuse's 15 different gangs. This proposal comes off the heels of a 75-page assessment on the city's violence. Over 400 people have been murdered in Syracuse since 2003. Mayor Walsh says and the rest of the city hope the plan is the first step to bring that number down.
Animal lovers across central New York had another opportunity to meet their furry, winged, or scaled neighbors. For the 9th straight year, the Onondaga Lake Visitors Center hosted a habitat photo exhibit. The photos contain images of animals from recently restored habitats straddling the lake's shoreline. These animals include mammals, reptiles, birds, and waterfowl.
And the city of Cortland hopes new federal funding helps them train more future firefighters. The Cortland Fire Department has received over $420,000 in funding from the Department of Homeland and Security. This funding comes after a combined $4.5 million federal funding of fire departments in Fulton, Jamestown, and New Rochelle. According to a statement from Senator Chuck Schumer, he hopes the money strengthens recruitment and keeps the Cortland community safe.
Kevin Hart is the latest celebrity to announce a CNY visit. Hart will join Turning Stone Resort Casino's 30th anniversary celebration on May 14th at 6. The self-dubbed comedic rock star joins Steve Martin and Martin Short as the latest comedian to visit Turning Stone. For Hart, this marks his first CNY performance as he visited the On Center back in 2018. Tickets will go on sale Friday starting at 10 a.m. on Ticketmaster. And coming up after the break, bring out a compost bin. That's right, New Yorkers may be forced to compost, what this may mean for residents.
And tough news for Marvel. One of its new star actors is in custody on a set of charges. Find out who and why after the break.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Louise Rath, Josh Meyers, and Peter Elliott. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. The Adams administration in New York City is proposing the city's first composting mandate today. The mandate would require any residents with a yard to separate their leaves, flowers, twigs, and grass clippings for compost.
These rules would take effect across all 5 boroughs over the next 18 months, along with their voluntary curbside composting program. The city's sanitation commissioner said yard waste is a good place to start since there is little to no behavioral change needed on the residents' part.
The latest now, tragic news out of Nashville today. 6 people, including 3 children, are dead after a school shooting at the Covenant School. The unidentified 28-year-old female shooter is also dead. Police shot and killed her 14 minutes after the first call to report a shooting came in.
Police say the shooter, armed with multiple guns, entered through a side door before firing shots on the building's 1st and 2nd floors. According to Police Chief John Drake, the woman attended the Christian private school at one point in time. This, with 6 total victims, today's shooting was the deadliest since the Uvalde massacre, which took 21 lives. And actor Jonathan Meyers is under fire after being charged with assault and harassment. Police officers responded to a 911 call from a Manhattan apartment just after 11 a.m. The victim was taken to a hospital with minor injuries to her head and neck, according to police. Meyers, who stars in the recently released Creed 3, also features in an Army ad that has been taken down following the arrest. The Army says that even though he is innocent until proven guilty, they believe that the best decision is to take it down until the investigation is complete. And recovery efforts will continue today in the areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia that were ravaged by tornadoes over the weekend. The storms left 26 people dead. President Biden issued an emergency declaration for the state early on Sunday. Federal funding will be available for the counties across those states where tornadoes struck.
The city of Philadelphia is guaranteeing its water is safe to drink after a chemical spill in the Delaware River. The city briefly told residents to avoid drinking tap water yesterday morning.
The city had since assured residents that no chemicals from the latex spill in Bucks County entered the water treatment facility that supplies Philadelphia. The city says they can guarantee no contamination through tonight. The city will reset the water to confirm its safety once the treatment plant flushes.
The lopsided ones. The first ones. The I miss my beard ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. But no way he's grown that in a week ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. That one. The itchy ones. The never forgotten ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The started late ones. The absolutely filthy ones. The drawn on ones. The finger ones. The pin ones. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the yeah, why not ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Let's take a look at the next 5 days of weather here in the 315. A lot of rain coming up, and it'll look a lot like today for the rest of the week. Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, a lot of precipitation going to be dumping down here in the Salt City. Especially Friday, we're going to be seeing showers throughout much of the day. And then Wednesday, just more PM showers. It'll be pretty dry throughout the morning. Could see some sun on Tuesday and Thursday, though there will be a lot of cloud cover. And Thursday, as much sun as there will be, it's going to be pretty cold in the upper 30s. But after Saturday, it's going to start to warm up and feel a lot more like spring as temperatures will get up into the 50s and 60s and stay there. So we won't be seeing a lot more of the 30s and low 40s, which is a welcome sight this time of year. Welcome feeling, rather, for the weather. We got your beach forecast for this week. Still, I would not advise, but we're getting enough rain to go swimming, so you don't even really need to hit the beach this time of year, guys. It's not what we want to see today with the rain, but hey, we're getting there slowly but surely to summer temperatures.
Yeah, you know, I really don't mind the rain recently. I actually have a fireplace where I live, so I get to turn that on, you know, cuddle up with a little book. Yeah, a little novel.
Cozy. Oh
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a fireplace, but, you know, keep those windows closed. I have to make sure, like, no rain gets onto my porch. I have a couch that I've had on my porch for a very long time that has faced all the conditions of harsh weather. It looks completely different now. Let's just say that.
I don't know about you guys. I've kind of given up on umbrellas here in central New York. The wind is just too quick. It snapped 2 of my umbrellas, so I just go coat and hood. That's all I do.
Yeah, I will say the rain hasn't been too bad, but the wind just terrible.
It really is.
And while you may want to stay inside because of that weather, if you have a Kia or a Hyundai like me, they say park it outside. That's because the Korean automakers are recalling more than 500,000 SUVs and minivans.
And the recall is over a hitch harness, which may catch fire when the water gets into the circuit boards. The recall is for 2019 to 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe's, Santa Fe hybrids, and 2022 to 2023 Santa Cruz models.
And the only Kia affected is the 2022 and 2023 Carnival minivan. It's a good thing our sports anchor John Dales doesn't drive any of those cars. John?
Yeah, Josh, you're right. And to be honest, I was kind of waiting for you to bring up my choice of cars. But coming up after the break, there have been plenty of disappointing sports teams wearing a Syracuse uniform this year. But what if I told you one of them is the top-ranked team in the nation right now? Stick around to hear more on that after the break.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. Much like we here at CitrusTV are your campus news leader, Syracuse is the leader across the country when it comes to women's lacrosse. The Orange improved to 11-0 over the weekend after a 17-5 throttling of Louisville on the road. The Cuse moved up to the #1 spot in last week's Inside Lacrosse rankings, and this weekend's performance more than enough to keep them there. As we throw the top 5 on your screen right now in the country, you can see the Orange have Northwestern, who they beat back in February, hot on their tails in that second spot. Not too far behind. Evergreen statement here. North Carolina, really scary this year. SU will see UNC in a few weeks to round out the regular season, then in all likelihood again in the ACC tournament. Well, the past few weeks have actually been very kind to both lacrosse teams on campus. This Saturday, Syracuse men's Lax earned its 3rd win in a row, all of which have been blowouts. This one 18-7 over in-state rival Hobart. Well, that's all nice and good. Those wins haven't been over the best competition. Preceding Hobart was Hofstra and St. Bonaventure. Down the road, though, it's a gauntlet for Syracuse. The Orange played 3rd-ranked Notre Dame this Saturday. 2 more of its final 4 games of the regular season against Duke and Virginia, who are number 4 and number 1 in the country, respectively. Head coach Gary Gates said on Saturday his team will be treating every one of those contests as if it's a playoff game. Switching gears over to college hoops, you saw the men's Elite 8 wrap up last night, but there's still 2 more Final Four teams to find out on the women's side tonight. First, upset-minded Maryland takes on South Carolina and Aaliyah Boston. Terrapins are led by guard Diamond Miller, who's a 2nd-team All-American this season. She averages 20 points per contest through 3 games in the tournament. She's been fantastic. South Carolina, undefeated on the season, 35-0. They've won all 3 of their tournament games by double figures, and to put things into perspective, just how good they are, they beat LSU, who's a Final Four team, by 24 last month. The other contest features Ohio State and Virginia Tech. The Buckeyes haven't been in the Final Four since 1993. They're led by Cody McMahon. Then the Hokies are led by Liz Kitley, the ACC Player of the Year, who's got Virginia Tech in its first ever Elite 8. And rounding things out, closing out with baseball, the Mets designated first baseman Darren Ruff for assignment today, all but ending his tenure in Flushing. He batted 152 without a home run in 72 plate appearances for the Mets after being acquired midway through last season.
Now, John, let's talk real quick about the men's NCAA tournament. I mean, that Final Four is just, you just don't see that.
Yeah, well, you do every year. There's 4 teams left at this point. But I will tell you what, if you want a team to pick, I will go with UConn. The Huskies are playing very well right now. I don't think anybody's beaten them in the Final Four.
Not even FAU.
Not even FAU. No.
They seem like an electric team.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could beat those Owls nowadays. But when we come back, we'll take one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Thanks for sticking with us here on News Live at 6. When you wake up tomorrow, it won't be raining. That's a nice change of pace. Temperatures right around 35 degrees with moderate winds, a UV index only of 1, so you won't need your sunscreen tomorrow. As we warm up, we'll get up to 44. That's a pretty nice number here in Syracuse, and dip back down to 41 in the PM. Low chance of precipitation, unlike today, but you won't be seeing a ton of sun. The clouds will be shielding a lot of it. About 70% cloud cover for much of the day, guys. But hey, at least it's not raining tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing to be scared of with that forecast. But let's just talk about fears real quick. Recent search data reveals that nearly 400,000 New York residents have a fear called trypophobia, and that's the fear of irregular patterns of clusters or small bumps. And it's estimated that more than 19 million Americans have some phobia of some kind.
Other notable phobias many New Yorkers have is thalassophobia, which is fear of the ocean, emetophobia, which is fear of vomit, and claustrophobia, which is a fear of small spaces. I feel like that one's a pretty popular one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I have any of those fears. I say a fear that I might have is getting a job after college. What about you,
Yeah,
John?
I'm with you. Ad-libbing about weather, that's one of my
That's
biggest fears as well.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Right there with you. Yeah, public speaking for me. Yeah, terrified of it.
Yeah, I mean, public speaking might not be the best career to get into there, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you today on Citrus TV News.
For more of the latest, follow us on Citrus TV News on Twitter or check out our website at citrustv.com.
For all of us here at Citrus TV, I'm Josh Meyers.
And I'm Peyton Spellacy. Tune in to Talking Points in just 1 hour. Good night.